All right. How you doing, Lee? I just showed this to you, but this is so crazy. We're literally recording ourselves today, and I literally just held this up. In our studio is a picture of you, and it's so funny. It's with that exact same sign that's behind you. So it's not just you. It's with the exact same sign that's behind you. I think that's hilarious. Mm-hmm. You're living it. Good job, Lee. All right. So what we want to do is we want to just kind of go over the current deal we're working on, and we're making a couple adjustments on it. But that's one of the cool things about real estate is that it gives you the ability to do adjustments. You know, in so many other businesses, it's like one way or the highway. You know, exit or enter. You know, in real estate, as you move forward through the deal and as you go through the different processes of the deal, sometimes you hit a wall. Doesn't mean the deal's dead. Just means we have to make adjustments. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
So, Lee, first of all, tell us how you found this deal. It's on, I don't know where it is, on Burbank Boulevard. How'd you find? How do we get this deal secured, first of all?
Well, this lead came to me through my website, through some of my pay-per-click advertising. And she found my website. The website converted her into a lead. She called in. And so I called back, and using the lead sheet, went over the property, asked her some questions about it, you know, rate the condition, 1 to 10, 10 being is perfect, 1 being it doesn't have a floor, 5 being, well, there is a floor. That was Julie's line, by the way.
Where'd you get that from?
I actually used it. She laughed. What's that?
Where'd you get that line from?
Me.
Yeah, Julie gave me that line. I used it.
All right, cool. So you got it from some web-based marketing. Obviously, Lee's part of our partner-driven coaching program, which is fantastic. So Lee thought we got it through the marketing. We got this thing negotiated to a certain price. So the numbers on this deal, 80 to buy, about 19, 20, whatever to fix. And we were supposed to, hoping to take it out about 130. Now, I'll tell you, with, being just a deal for about 100,000, selling it for 130, we're right there in a border of something that we may want to do or something we may not want to do. Okay, we're right at that 75% marker. Again, 75%, we're getting into that gray area. But we wanted to take it through the due diligence. So, we had some outside opinions brought in, and then we did an inspection. And really, it's when the inspection came back that now we're going to take a little turn in the deal. So, Julie, what did the inspection, because that's one of the things we do during our due diligence, is we actually send real life inspectors out there, because if we're going to be putting our own money into it, we got to make sure that we don't find too many surprises, both from a construction end and also both from a numbers end. Sometimes there are no surprises, but the budget does not match up to what the inspector found. So there's a lot of reasons why you're putting cash into a deal, why you want to do an inspection.
And I don't know that Lee would have seen this without a property inspector going out there.
Oh, sorry.
So Lee, we've got 1 or 2 choices. We either need to renegotiate the front end price, okay? Or my suggestion, which is wholesale it using your daughter. Okay? Which I could
Okay, and that raised a couple of questions on my end.
Okay, and I'll answer that. But a couple things that I noticed when we got this inspection is the electrical is in terrible shape in that house, okay? The HVAC is not doing well. Bathroom floor, new dishwasher. These are all things that weren't in the first bid. Another thing, when I got to looking at the photos, whenever we're talking ARV, with the current condition of this kitchen, we wouldn't have been able to get that top ARV amount with this countertop and these floors and these walls. So I'm estimating this job probably closer to around 35, Lee, and I think we could get it done for that. So just by the time you go and do all this, because the cabinets, they need to be sanded and repainted. The dishwasher needs to be done. This countertop's not going to fly. The bathroom, the air conditioning units, there's just some different things here. And small things like replacing trim around doors and things. That's really important. That's why I feel like we should sell this as is, because to do all this work to get it at the top of the market, we've either got to get it cheaper or we need to wholesale this to a buy and hold investor.
Let me just say something right here. And Lee, I want to explain to you what we're saying here, and make sure that we're on the same page. Here's one thing we've learned after doing 3,500 of these deals. Anytime you bring a property out to the market and ask kind of on the top end of it, it's not like we're selling a $130,000 property for $100,000. We're going to be selling $130,000 property for $130,000, which, by the way, we rightfully should. If anything, we might want to try to get it even a little bit above that. But what happens on the retail side is when you bring something out at the top of the market or in terms of pricing, no matter what the price range, sometimes people think, well, gosh, a $500,000 property is not going to be treated like a $130,000 property. And I'm just going to tell you from experience, that's totally wrong. So all these things that Julie's saying, some of them, obviously AC issues that came up that may have not been spotted initially, obviously those need to be fixed. But I'll tell you, even these other issues that are somewhat cosmetic, sometimes people think, well, gosh, it's not $1 million property. Yeah, it's not $1 million property and we don't need $1 million fixtures. I get it. But it's a property that for someone is going to be the most that they can afford. And to them, it might as well be $1 million property. So all these things that sometimes are not even, we don't even think about, because you look at a door and you're like, well, that door works perfectly. Julie looks at a door after doing thousands of these and like, that is in good condition, but that is not going to fly when an inspector or a buyer or a realtor steps in. So some of these things that push the price up by as much as whatever, $10,000, $15,000 higher than we thought are not necessarily things that your contractor may have missed. These are just some things that, again, after doing thousands of deals, we just know what's going to happen. And that's why so many times you want to start out with a fairly large gross profit margin, because in the end, that fairly, that fairly large gross profit margin, kind of gets to be a smaller net profit margin.
Yeah, and I just want to say this, and Lee, we've already talked about this before, but we know what sells houses, and that's kitchens and baths. You know what I mean? And that's what I still think we can do this deal. I believe right now, and I'll talk to you about this. I think if we list this right under 100,000, which you've got under contract for 80, I think I can double close and we can make 10 grand on this. And I would rather do that than walk away from the deal, unless you feel confident in the fact that you might be able to renegotiate this down to like 65 or something. Because
sounds like we're going to have to renegotiate either way, because an end buyer, an investor, is going to be looking at the same thing that you're looking at, especially one that's experienced like yourselves.
Yes and no.
Listening to what you're saying.
Let me intervene, Lee. I don't want you to go down too far down the wrong path. Not necessarily. Let me explain to you why. Investors look at deals from a different perspective. For instance, we're looking at it from a perspective of buy, fix, sell, right? But interestingly enough, think about this, 90% of the deals that we sell to investors, probably higher than 90% of the deals we sell to investors are not sold to investors that do what we do with it. They are sold, for instance, to investors that rent these properties. Well, guess what? When someone looks at it from a rental perspective, there's no way.
This is a great rental house.
Yeah, it's a great, number one, it's a great rental house. Number two, they will look at it like if they were sitting here, or if they were sitting where Julie is and I'm sitting here, we would be like literally talking two different languages. They would be like, this is a great rental. If I can get into it for under 120,000, and I'm looking at it and I'm saying, I can't even make the numbers work out 130,000. It's only because we look at it differently. So no, absolutely not. We never, from investors' perspective, look at it from our perspective. From investors' perspective, or let's say the wholesaling, as we like to call it, we look at it from a much broader. I can give you other, there's other strategies that people may utilize with this property that the numbers make absolutely perfect sense at 100,000, 105,000, and all that. So again, I just didn't want you to go too far down that road. No, we do. Now, having said that, I will tell you, I like the way you think. because
renegotiate anyway.
Yeah. Even if we sell this thing as is for 100, we're all rather be into it for, 70,000 than we rather be it for 80,000. As a matter of fact, we renegotiate almost all our deals here. You talk to any big, and you talk to like the huge mega investors, the developers, the colony homes, the whatever. They're negotiating all the way down to they're driving to the closing, and their lawyers are on there like, we ain't showing up, not unless you drop it down by another $3 million. I mean, they're negotiating at the closing table. So your perspective of why we want to renegotiate is not necessarily correct, but your wanting to renegotiate is dead on. Yeah, so we should renegotiate. We absolutely should renegotiate. But probably
based on that, what would you recommend I go back and hit her at?
What I would rather you do, Lee, before we renegotiate the price, I want to extend the inspection period to give us longer to wholesale it. Okay. So, and then I'm going to send you the inspection report. So what I do, use this inspection report. Okay. Ma'am, okay. I still want to work with you, but I got the inspection report back on the house, and I think there were things wrong with it that probably you didn't know, and then I didn't know by looking at it, right? So I'm not saying I don't want to do this deal. I just need a little bit longer inspection period so that I can figure out some different numbers, get some more quotes and things like that. So what I would like to see happen, the inspection period get extended, and then we'll start worrying about a price. I like to renegotiate the price once I have a buyer, personally. And I think you're going to be able to do that, but at least you're going to her and getting an inspection period, because if you go right now and renegotiate the price, then she's going to want you to close quicker. Okay. So let's go for a longer.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So, I mean, because you can't take one without the other. If you want less, she's going to want you to close, or he's going to want you to close quicker. So let's see if we can get our inspection period worked out, and see what we can do here. But like I said, I do want to wholesale this deal. I think we've got it. We've got all the pictures. We have inspection reports. And I'll tell you another thing. You know how I've been joking with you about working on that house here in Cumming? Guess who bought that thing? I done fixed it up all pretty for a buyer, like a homeowner, and an investor's buying it as a rental. I'm almost disheartened and sad.
Well, they're going to put somebody in it right away now that you're done with it.
Yes. It's just funny. And then also the Miami deal we did, an investor bought that as a rental too. So anything under $200,000 in desirable areas, especially Savannah, Georgia, this thing's going to be gone in a couple of days. I know it.
Right.
So I think what we should do.
There's a high concentration of rentals in that neighborhood.
Okay, perfect. So Lee, I think we should take a two-prong approach. Number one, you're dealing directly with the seller, which is the best. We can't get any better than that. Hopefully you got a good relationship with them. And the best way to do it, just blame us. Say my money partners, just, we got an inspection. We got a little bit worse results than we wanted. We still want the deal, but as you could see, it needs all this work. We just need a little more time. And most homeowners, especially the ones that you happen to contact like that, kind of cold, they won't have a problem. Unless she's like, now, here's what I will want you to be prepared for. Let's say she does have a problem. You're renegotiating, you're showing her the report, and she's like, well, Lee, the one thing I didn't tell you, I'm in the middle of a divorce, and I got to sell this. Or, Lee, I didn't tell you, I'm in the middle of foreclosure, and this thing's going to be sold on the steps in, 3 weeks. So sometimes you could tell you something when you say you need longer time, something that may actually surprise you. What you want to do at that point is you want to exchange time for money. So then you do want to go into what Julie's basically said. Basically, one or the other. Say, well, here's what I can do. And you can call us right on the spot. Call Julie and I and, talk to us. But you just got to let them know, if time is so critical and we don't have as much time as we thought we did, I may be able to push on my money people, my money partners. But then, Mrs. Seller, obviously we're going to need a discount. So start teeing her up right away that, if we can't get the time, then immediately we need the money. And I could tell you, if we can get enough discount right there in a spot,
it's not going to be a problem.
Yeah, we'll buy it. I'll just come in, buy it, and then we'll just, get your daughter to sell it for us, and everyone's happy. So remember, grab one or the other. Grab either time or money. By the way, and I know Julie's philosophy is go one or the other. I think you should get one or the other, but there's nothing wrong with possibly trying to get both too. There's nothing wrong with getting both.
He's pretty good, so.
No, I know he's good. I can just tell just by looking at him. So if you can, in a perfect case scenario, when you're done with her, you're going to have more time and we're going to have a cheaper price. So don't be afraid to ask. You could always back off. Now
on the part with my realtor, my daughter, selling the property, that's not something that we're going to be able to do until technically we own it or you own it.
That's not true. Okay.
Because if she does a listing contract, she'll actually be doing it with the owner. It's something that she brought up today because I was discussing the email that I got from Laura with her, and she asked me, she said, well, how am I going to list a house for you and you have it under contract, but you haven't bought it yet?
Okay, I'll tell you.
So that was a question she wanted me to ask you.
Look at page 2 of the contract that you got signed, okay? Line number 13.
Got it right here.
Huh?
I've got it right here.
Okay, line number 13.
Okay.
Read it. And
okay.
I want you to, because you'll get it as soon as you read it.
I already got it. Marketing investors are authorized to market advertised property for sale in any media of brokers choosing, including internet multiple listing services, which would be our realtor daughter, and in an attempt to procure buyers for the property in cooperation with other real estate brokers, investors, and or affiliated licensees.
Yes.
So that gives us permission to market it, even using my daughter realtor to list it.
Exactly. So the listing agreement would be between her or her brokerage and our company, okay? Or I don't want to tell everybody, but what's on our contract, okay? The listing agreement is going to be between the person on this contract and her brokerage, okay? Now, what the broker is going to require is at closing, we're actually going to have to double close this deal. So we are going to take title on this house, if only for an hour, okay? We're just going to double close.
That makes sense.
But she will not be able to assign this deal. It has to double close. So
if she lists it, finds a buyer, we do a double close. Or if I come across an investor on my own through some of my contacts, then we just take the assignment fee.
Yes, you're going to be better off selling this to your investors through your cash buyer database. You will make more money, okay? What I don't want to happen...
Which was Peter's first step, building that database.
Yes, yes. However, I want to sell this thing, and there's nothing better than MLS. And I think, between you and I talked about this, she could use this experience because her phone's going to blow up when you put a property under $100,000 in Savannah. And she's going to make she'll make money, and you'll make money because we're going to pay her full commission on this deal, or you are.
Well, I've already got that arranged with her broker to go at 5% because we're going to be doing volume this year. Instead of 6% for every deal, we've got it knocked down to 5%, so that'll help us out.
And I wanted you to learn this here because if you could see, do you realize what you just, by understanding what you just opened up in your world? I like doing this strategy better than buying and fixing and selling properties all day long. I mean, I got stitches yesterday from unloading stuff, so I like wholesaling.
Yeah. Well, one thing that I learned the first time I did this, I do not want to pick up another paintbrush or hammer. That's why I've got a contractor working for me on my team. The first one I did, I went in there on my weekend breaks and my days off, and me and some friends fixed one up. So I'm not in that position to do that anymore. So either I'm going to wholesale them or I'm going to have my rehab specialist take care of that part.
No question. No question. All right, so we got the strategy. Go set up a time or however you communicate with the seller. as soon as you know, where we stand there, hopefully better price and more time, or at least one or the other. Let's make sure we do that. And
Either way, get it listed today. If
yeah,
possible.
that's what that was my next thing. The other thing is, we want to connect with your daughter, get this thing out there. No matter what happens, we can't go wrong by doing that. I will tell you, we probably, especially got to double close, we're going to need to change the buyer's name. But you and Julie could talk about that offline. We'll probably need to change that to our company name, right?
It won't work. I'll talk to you.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll figure that piece out.
Mhm.
Anyway, Lee, we got a plan. Let's execute it. Call us back at least as soon as you talk to the seller, because that'll determine kind of what direction that we want to go into. Again,
Okay.
it's nothing more than making adjustments. You know what I mean? It's nothing more than making adjustments, and let's make it and let's truck on.
No lockbox on the house, no signs, okay? Just get her
Okay.
MLS and use the pictures that you took.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
That's what we got. All right, buddy. We'll see you.
All right. Bye.
Hey, Lee. Bye-bye.